Most people will never experience true mental toughness, and because of that, they will break under pressure when life tests them. But you are not most people. You have a choice. Remain at the mercy of fear and failure, or forge an unshakable mind that commands victory in every battle. Strength isn't handed out. It is forged through fire. Decide now, will you collapse when life strikes, or will you rise, relentless, fearless, and unstoppable? In a few moments, you will learn how to forge unstoppable mental toughness and rise above every challenge life throws at you. The power of mental toughness. What separates the extraordinary from the ordinary? What makes certain individuals rise above circumstances while others remain trapped by them? The answer lies not in external conditions, but in the quality of mental toughness. Mental toughness is that rare quality of mind which transforms ordinary men and women into champions, leaders, and pioneers who reshape the world around them. Mental toughness is the bedrock upon which all great achievement is built. Without it, talent remains undeveloped, opportunities go unseized, and dreams wither on the vine of indecision. But with it, seemingly impossible goals become not only possible, but inevitable. Mental toughness is the force that propels you forward when every fiber of your being screams for retreat. Why is mental toughness so vital to your success? Because life will test you. The road to any worthy achievement is paved with obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. Those without mental fortitude abandon their goals at the first sign of resistance. They surrender their dreams to the tyranny of momentary discomfort. But you are different. You understand that discomfort is the price of growth, that resistance builds strength, and that every obstacle overcome brings you closer to your ultimate objective. Developing mental toughness begins with a fundamental decision: to take complete responsibility for your life and its outcomes. No more excuses. No more blaming circumstances or other people. From this moment forward, you are the author of your destiny, the sculptor of your future. This mindset shift is both liberating and empowering, for it places the power to change squarely in your hands. How do you cultivate this mindset? Begin by challenging yourself daily. Step outside your comfort zone deliberately and with purpose. Start small if necessary, but start today. Whether it's waking up earlier, having that difficult conversation you've been avoiding, or pushing yourself through one more repetition in your workout when your muscles scream for relief, each small victory builds the mental muscle required for greater achievements. Thomas Edison, whose persistence in the face of thousands of failed attempts to create the electric light bulb, exemplifies mental toughness in action. When asked about his numerous failures, he famously remarked that he had not failed, but had successfully found thousands of ways that wouldn't work. Each failure brought him one step closer to success. This is the essence of mental toughness, the ability to reframe setbacks as stepping stones. Mental toughness also requires a certain immunity to the opinions of others. When John F. Kennedy announced the ambitious goal of landing a man on the moon within a decade, many thought it impossible. Yet his vision and resolve remained unshaken by criticism or doubt. He understood that great achievement often begins with goals that others consider unreasonable or unattainable. Remember, mental toughness is not about being harsh or unfeeling. Rather, it's about developing the inner strength to pursue your highest goals despite fear, uncertainty, or temporary discomfort. It's about building the resilience to rise after every fall, stronger and more determined than before. It's about nurturing the unwavering belief that you will prevail, regardless of current circumstances. As you embark on this journey toward unstoppable mental toughness, know that every challenge you face is an opportunity to strengthen your mind. Every problem solved is proof of your growing capability. Every moment of discomfort embraced is a deposit in the bank of your character. The mental toughness you develop today will serve you in every area of your life, transforming not just what you can achieve, but who you become in the process. Establishing your life purpose. Do you know why some individuals seem to possess inexhaustible energy and determination while others drift through life without direction? The difference lies in having a definite purpose, a compelling vision that pulls you forward through every obstacle and setback. Without purpose, mental toughness lacks direction. With purpose, it becomes an unstoppable force. Your life purpose acts as the North Star of your existence, guiding your decisions, focusing your efforts, and infusing your daily actions with meaning. When you operate with purpose, ordinary tasks take on extraordinary significance. Work becomes not merely labor, but a mission. Challenges become not burdens, but opportunities to demonstrate your commitment to something greater than momentary comfort or convenience. Why is establishing a clear purpose so essential to developing mental toughness? Because purpose provides the emotional fuel that powers persistence. When difficulties arise, as they inevitably will, it is your purpose that will sustain you. When others quit, your purpose will propel you forward. When temptation to take the easy path appears, your purpose will keep you true to the path of growth and achievement. The most mentally tough individuals throughout history have been driven by purposes larger than themselves. Their greatness stemmed not from superior talent or fortunate circumstances, but from the clarity and intensity of their definite aim. They knew exactly what they wanted to achieve and why it mattered, not just to themselves, but to others and to the world. How do you discover and establish your life purpose? Begin by asking yourself these penetrating questions. What activities engage you so completely that you lose track of time? What injustices or problems in the world trigger your strongest emotional responses? What achievements would fill you with genuine pride at the end of your life? The intersection of your talents, passions, and the needs of the world often reveals your purpose. Once you identify the general direction of your purpose, make it definite and specific. Vague aspirations produce vague results. Define your purpose with such clarity that you could explain it to a child. Then write it down and read it daily, allowing it to seep into your subconscious mind and influence your thinking at the deepest level. Walt Disney, who maintained his vision of creating the world's greatest entertainment experiences despite numerous failures and setbacks. Early in his career, he faced bankruptcy and was told he lacked creative talent. Yet his purpose, to bring joy through storytelling and innovation, remained unshaken. This clear purpose enabled him to persevere when others would have abandoned their dreams. Your purpose need not involve changing the world on a grand scale. This might involve being the best parent possible, building a business that serves your community with excellence, or developing expertise that solves important problems. What matters is not the size of your purpose, but its authenticity and its power to inspire your best efforts. As you clarify your purpose, you'll notice an immediate strengthening of your mental resilience. Tasks that once seemed difficult become manageable when viewed through the lens of purpose. Sacrifices that once felt burdensome become meaningful investments in your vision. The opinions and criticisms of others lose their power to discourage you, because you measure your decisions against your purpose, not against social approval. Remember, establishing your life purpose is not a one-time event, but an evolving process. As you grow and gain experience, your purpose may deepen or expand. Remain open to this evolution while maintaining absolute commitment to your core values and vision. In doing so, you create the foundation for unstoppable mental toughness. A toughness directed toward ends worthy of your highest potential, creating unshakable self-belief. At the core of mental toughness lies unshakable self-belief, the deep conviction that you possess the capacity to achieve your goals despite any obstacle. This belief is not arrogance or blind optimism, but a reasoned confidence based on self-acknowledge and a commitment to continuous growth. Without self-belief, talent goes unused, opportunities go unseized, and potential remains unrealized. Self-belief creates a powerful cycle of achievement. When you believe in your abilities, you take on greater challenges. As you overcome these challenges, your self-belief strengthens, enabling you to tackle even greater obstacles. This upward spiral of confidence and capability is the hallmark of mentally tough individuals who consistently outperform their peers. Why is self-belief so critical to mental toughness? Because your actions will never rise above the limitations of your self-concept. The greatest barrier to achievement is not external competition or circumstances, but internal doubt. Those who believe they can and those who believe they cannot are both right. Your belief system creates a ceiling on your accomplishments or removes it entirely. The remarkable power of self-belief lies in its ability to activate your creative faculty. When you wholeheartedly believe a goal is attainable, your mind naturally begins generating ideas and solutions to make it reality. Problems that seem insurmountable to the doubtful mind become interesting challenges to the mind empowered by self-belief. How do you develop this unshakable self-belief? First, recognize that belief is a choice. You can choose to believe in your capacity for growth and achievement, regardless of past experiences or current circumstances. This choice becomes the foundation for everything that follows. Next, actively reshape your self-concept through deliberate mental management. Monitor your self-talk rigorously, challenging and replacing thoughts of limitation with thoughts of possibility and capability. Speak to yourself as you would to someone you deeply respect and believe in. Remember that your subconscious mind accepts the messages you repeatedly send it, whether positive or negative. Systematically build evidence that supports your self-belief through progressive achievement. Set small, achievable goals that stretch your abilities slightly, then consistently meet them. Each success, however modest, becomes proof of your capability and fuel for greater confidence. Through this process, self-belief ceases to be merely positive thinking and becomes grounded in demonstrated ability. Roger Bannister, who broke the 4-minute mile barrier at a time when medical experts insisted it was physically impossible. Bannister first had to overcome the psychological barrier, the collective belief that the human body could not perform this feat. His achievement immediately unleashed a wave of other sub-4-minute miles, proving that the primary limitation had been mental, not physical. Mary Kay Ash, who founded her cosmetics company after facing gender discrimination in the corporate world, her unshakable self-belief not only fueled her success, but inspired thousands of women to develop confidence in their own capabilities. Remember that self-belief is not static, but requires regular reinforcement. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and your vision. Study the biographies of those who have overcome significant obstacles to achieve similar goals to yours. Collect and review evidence of your past successes, especially during periods of doubt or difficulty. Equally important, prepare your self-belief to withstand inevitable setbacks. Mentally tough individuals don't expect continuous, uninterrupted progress. They anticipate obstacles and prepare for them. When challenges arise, they view them not as evidence of personal inadequacy, but as natural parts of any meaningful journey. This perspective preserves self-belief during difficult periods. As your self-belief grows stronger, you'll notice profound changes in your approach to challenges. You'll take more calculated risks, you'll persist longer in the face of difficulties, you'll recover more quickly from setbacks. The mastermind principle. There exists a principle of success so powerful that virtually every great achievement in history bears its mark. This principle multiplies your mental capacity, extends your reach, and accelerates your progress toward any worthy goal. It is the mastermind principle, the coordinated effort of two or more minds working in perfect harmony toward a definite purpose. The mastermind principle recognizes a fundamental truth that certain achievements lie beyond the capacity of any single mind, no matter how brilliant or determined. When minds unite in harmony, they create a third, invisible force, a mastermind that is greater than the sum of its parts. This combined intelligence can solve problems, identify opportunities, and create solutions that would remain inaccessible to its individual members acting alone. Why is the mastermind essential to developing mental toughness? Because it provides resources that amplify your individual capabilities. In moments when your own mental strength wavers, the collective wisdom and encouragement of your mastermind alliance sustains you. When you face complex challenges, the diverse perspectives within your alliance reveal solutions invisible from a single viewpoint. When temporary defeat threatens your progress, the combined determination of your alliance carries you forward. The mastermind operates on two distinct levels. On the practical level, it gives you access to knowledge, skills, connections, and resources beyond your personal inventory. On the psychic or spiritual level, it creates a mysterious amplification of mental power that participants often describe as inspiration or insight, ideas seeming to appear from nowhere, yet perfectly suited to the challenge at hand. How do you create an effective mastermind alliance? Begin by selecting members with extreme care. Look for individuals who share your commitment to growth, but bring different strengths and perspectives. Ensure they possess positive mental attitudes, as negativity within a mastermind can poison its effectiveness. Most importantly, choose those who genuinely support your success rather than those who secretly envy or resent it. Establish clear guidelines for your mastermind meetings. Set a regular schedule and maintain it religiously. Create an environment of absolute candor where truth can be spoken without fear of offense. Remember that harmony, not mere agreement, is the essential quality that makes a mastermind effective. Mastermind alliance formed between Henry Ford and Thomas Edison, two of the greatest innovators of their era. Though their areas of expertise differed significantly, their alliance provided each with insights, encouragement, and inspiration that contributed to their respective achievements. Ford often credited his discussions with Edison as pivotal to his development of mass production techniques. Or look at the remarkable results produced by the mastermind alliance of Orville and Wilbur Wright. These brothers combined their mechanical genius and methodical approach to solve the seemingly insurmountable challenge of human flight. Their perfect harmony of purpose and complementary skills enabled them to succeed where better funded and more credentialed competitors failed. The mastermind principle extends beyond formal alliances. Every productive relationship contains elements of this principle. The harmony between spouses can create a domestic mastermind that supports achievement in all areas of life. The synergy between business partners can produce innovations neither would have conceived independently. As you implement the mastermind principle, be prepared to contribute as much as you receive. The most productive alliances are those in which each member gives their best thinking, their sincere encouragement, and their unflagging commitment to the group's success. Approach each mastermind session with thoroughly prepared thoughts and a genuine desire to advance the success of every member. Remember that the mastermind principle multiplies mental toughness across its participants. When you feel your resolve weakening, your alliance members can reinforce it. When they face moments of doubt, your conviction can sustain them. This mutual reinforcement creates a resilience that enables all members to persist through challenges that would defeat them individually. The very essence of mental toughness applied collectively, turning failure into stepping stones. The path to any significant achievement is never a straight line. It winds through valleys of disappointment, across plains of frustration, and over mountains of temporary defeat. What separates the mentally tough from the mentally fragile is not the absence of failure, but the response to it. Where others see terminal defeat, the mentally tough see temporary setbacks. Where others see reasons to quit, the mentally tough find lessons to apply. Failure, properly understood, is not the opposite of success, but an integral component of it. Every notable achievement in human history emerged from a series of failures that provided essential feedback, forced innovation, and tested the commitment of the achiever. Remove failure from the equation, and you remove the very mechanism that makes success possible. Why is this perspective on failure essential to mental toughness? Because without it, you will inevitably abandon your most important goals when faced with initial setbacks. The emotionally immature see failure as evidence of personal inadequacy, rather than as a natural part of any worthwhile endeavor. This misinterpretation leads to shame, discouragement, and ultimately, surrender. The mentally tough, by contrast, recognize failure as valuable information, feedback that indicates necessary adjustments rather than reasons for abandonment. How do you transform your relationship with failure? Begin by separating the outcome from your identity. When an effort fails, it does not mean you are a failure. It simply means your current approach requires modification. This distinction preserves your confidence while allowing you to learn from the experience. Next, train yourself to ask empowering questions in the face of setbacks. Instead of, "Why does this always happen to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this that will improve my next attempt?" Instead of, "What's wrong with me?" ask, "What adjustments would make success more likely?" These questions redirect your mental energy from unproductive self-pity to constructive problem-solving. Develop the habit of conducting failure analysis rather than dwelling in failure emotion. After any setback, systematically examine what went wrong, what went right, what you would do differently next time, and what unexpected factors influenced the outcome. This analytical approach extracts maximum value from the experience while minimizing unproductive emotional reactions. Abraham Lincoln, whose path to the presidency was littered with what others would consider devastating failures. He lost 8 elections, failed in business twice, and suffered a nervous breakdown before achieving the presidency. Each setback taught him valuable lessons about politics, persuasion, and perseverance that proved essential to his later effectiveness as president during America's greatest crisis. Remember also that failure often prepares you for opportunities you could not otherwise recognize or capitalize upon. The skills developed, the insights gained, and the resilience built through failure create readiness for success that cannot be acquired through easy victories. What appears to be a detour often becomes the very path to your destination. As you strengthen your mental toughness, deliberately seek challenges that include significant risk of failure. Start small if necessary, but intentionally place yourself in situations where failure is possible. Each failure overcome builds your capacity to attempt more significant challenges. Each lesson learned increases your probability of subsequent success. Most importantly, remember that your most painful failures often contain your most valuable lessons. The speaker's poorly received presentation reveals weaknesses in delivery that, once addressed, transform them into a compelling communicator. The athlete's loss exposes conditioning deficiencies that, once corrected, lead to championship performances. In developing mental toughness, commit yourself to this transformative perspective. There is no failure, only feedback. No defeat, only delay. No insurmountable obstacle, only ineffective approach. With this mindset, every setback becomes a setup for unprecedented growth and achievement. Cultivating unwavering focus. In a world designed to fracture your attention and scatter your energy, the ability to maintain unwavering focus has become one of the rarest and most valuable forms of mental toughness. This power of concentration, directing the full force of your mental faculties toward a single objective, separates those who merely dream from those who achieve. Focus acts as a mental laser, concentrating your intellectual and creative energy on your highest priorities. Without this concentration, your efforts dissipate across too many targets, producing mediocre results in many areas rather than extraordinary results in your chosen field. Mental toughness requires the discipline to say no to the merely good so you can say yes to the truly great. Why is unwavering focus so essential to mental toughness? Because achievement in any worthwhile endeavor requires sustained effort over time. The mind that jumps from goal to goal accomplishes little of significance. The mind that remains fixed on a worthy objective, despite temptations and distractions, invariably produces remarkable results. Focus transforms sporadic effort into accumulated power, the difference between a scattered shower and a mighty river carving through stone. The benefits of focus extend beyond efficiency. When you train your mind to concentrate deeply, you access levels of creativity and insight unavailable to the scattered thinker. Solutions to complex problems emerge. Connections between seemingly unrelated ideas appear. Breakthroughs occur not through frantic activity, but through sustained attention to the essential. Next, develop rituals that protect your focus time. Schedule uninterrupted blocks for your most important work. During these periods, create physical environments that minimize distractions. Train those around you to respect these focus periods as inviolable. These boundaries may seem selfish to the unfocused mind, but are essential for significant achievement. Practice progressive training of your concentration abilities. Like physical strength, mental focus develops through consistent exercise. Begin with shorter periods of complete concentration, then gradually extend them. When your mind inevitably wanders, gently but firmly return it to the task at hand. Each time you do this, you strengthen your focusing muscles. Margaret Thatcher, who was renowned for her ability to master complex policy details while maintaining unwavering attention to her core objectives, her political opponents often found themselves outmatched, not because they lacked intelligence, but because they lacked her sustained mental discipline and clarity of purpose. Remember that focus requires not just external management of distractions, but internal management of your thought patterns. The mentally tough mind consistently redirects itself from unproductive worry about the past or anxiety about the future back to the present moment. the only point at which effective action is possible. This practice of present moment awareness amplifies your effectiveness in whatever activity you're engaged in. As you develop unwavering focus, you'll notice that time seems to expand. You accomplish more in fewer hours because your efficiency increases dramatically. Tasks that once required days are completed in hours. Problems that seemed intractable yield to your sustained attention. This compression of achievement time is one of the greatest rewards of mental toughness. Focus also provides immunity against the constant comparison that weakens lesser minds. When you're fully engaged with your own path, the achievements or opinions of others lose their power to distract or discourage you. This liberation from social comparison is perhaps the most underrated benefit of unwavering focus, a form of freedom that amplifies both achievement and contentment. As you strengthen your capacity for sustained focus, approach it not as deprivation, but as a form of abundance. The focused life is richer, deeper, and more satisfying than the scattered existence that surrounds it. In choosing what deserves your attention and consistently giving it your best mental energy, you develop a form of mental toughness that makes extraordinary achievement not just possible, but inevitable. Developing emotional control. The truest measure of mental toughness is not found during periods of ease and comfort, but in moments of crisis, challenge, and adversity. In these defining moments, your emotional response determines whether circumstances control you or you control your response to circumstances. Emotional control, the ability to maintain productive emotional states regardless of external conditions, is the cornerstone of unshakable mental toughness. Emotional control does not mean suppressing or denying your feelings. Rather, it means developing the capacity to experience emotions without being dominated by them, to feel fear without being paralyzed by it, to experience disappointment without being defined by it, to face uncertainty without being overwhelmed by it. This emotional intelligence transforms potential breaking points into breakthrough opportunities. Why is emotional control so vital to mental toughness? Because your emotions, more than any external circumstance, determine the quality of your decisions and actions. When emotions run unchecked, even the most brilliant minds make poor choices. Conversely, when emotions are channeled constructively, even ordinary intelligence produces extraordinary results. The mentally tough understand a fundamental truth. While you cannot always control what happens to you, you maintain absolute control over how you interpret and respond to what happens. This distinction becomes your source of power in the face of adversity. External events lose their ability to dictate your emotional state when you take responsibility for your internal responses. How do you develop this crucial emotional control? Start by practicing emotional awareness, the ability to recognize and name your feelings as they arise. Many people operate on emotional autopilot, unaware of how their feelings influence their behavior. By developing the habit of emotional self-observation, you create space between stimulus and response, space in which you can choose rather than merely react. Next, master the art of reframing, consciously choosing more empowering interpretations of challenging events. When faced with a setback, the undisciplined mind automatically defaults to negative framing. This is terrible. Everything is ruined. The mentally tough mind deliberately reframes. This is a temporary obstacle. What opportunities might it contain? How can I use this situation to grow stronger? Your physical state profoundly influences your emotional experience. Simple practices like controlled breathing, proper posture, facial expression management, and strategic movement can rapidly shift your emotional state from negative to neutral or positive. These physical interventions provide immediate relief during emotional storms. Nelson Mandela, during his 27 years of imprisonment, rather than allowing bitterness and hatred to consume him, he consciously cultivated forgiveness and compassion, emotional states that would later enable him to lead his nation toward reconciliation rather than revenge. His emotional discipline transformed personal suffering into national healing. Eleanor Roosevelt, who transformed the traditionally passive role of First Lady through her emotional resilience, she channeled her personal struggles with shyness and insecurity into empathy for the vulnerable, refusing to let negative emotions limit her impact. Her famous guidance to do one thing every day that scares you exemplifies the mentally tough approach to emotion, using fear as a compass pointing toward growth rather than as a barrier to action. Use daily annoyances, traffic delays, technological failures, interpersonal frictions as opportunities to strengthen your emotional muscles. Each time you respond constructively rather than reactively to these small challenges, you build capacity for emotional mastery during life's inevitable larger tests. As you develop emotional control, pay special attention to your response to failure and criticism. The mentally tough individual experiences natural disappointment when falling short, but quickly transitions to constructive analysis and renewed determination. Similarly, they listen to criticism for potentially valuable feedback while refusing to let it diminish their self-worth or derail their purpose. Emotional control also involves strategic use of positive emotions to fuel performance and resilience. Deliberately cultivate gratitude, confidence, determination, and enthusiasm through visualization, affirmation, and selective focus on empowering aspects of your experience. These positive emotional states provide energy and creativity that accelerate progress toward your goals. The ultimate test of emotional control is maintaining equilibrium during success as well as failure. True mental toughness includes the wisdom to maintain hunger, humility, and drive, even when experiencing significant success. As you strengthen your emotional control, you'll discover that this skill transforms not just your achievements, but your entire experience of life. Problems that once seemed overwhelming become manageable. Relationships that were once volatile become constructive. Your inner world becomes a source of power rather than a source of limitation, the essence of unstoppable mental toughness. The habit of persistence. Among all the qualities that constitute mental toughness, none has greater power to ensure ultimate success than persistence, the determination to continue taking constructive action despite repeated setbacks, apparent failure, or a lack of visible progress. This quality transforms average individuals into achievers, converts obstacles into opportunities, and turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Persistence stands as the great equalizer in human achievement. It enables those with modest talents to outperform those with superior abilities but inferior determination. It transforms mediocre methods applied consistently into remarkable results. Why is persistence so fundamental to mental toughness? Because virtually every worthwhile achievement requires a period of sustained effort without immediate reward. The mentally weak abandon their goals when progress slows, resistance increases, or results fail to materialize quickly. The mentally tough understand that these challenging periods are not signs of failure, but necessary phases in any significant accomplishment. Tests that eliminate the casual aspirant, but qualify the committed achiever. The power of persistence lies in its compounding effect. Each small action, each consistent effort, each refusal to surrender adds to the momentum of your progress. Like water wearing away stone, persistence overcomes apparently immovable obstacles not through overwhelming force, but through consistent application of focused effort over time. How do you develop this habit of persistence? Begin by recognizing that persistence is not merely continuing to do the same thing regardless of results. True persistence includes intelligence and adaptability. When one approach proves ineffective, the mentally tough adjust their methods while maintaining commitment to their ultimate objective. Next, establish persistence triggers, predetermined responses to the inevitable moments of doubt, frustration, or apparent failure. Decide in advance how you will react when tempted to quit. Create specific phrases, visualizations, or actions that reconnect you with your purpose and strengthen your resolve. These triggers, activated at crucial moments, prevent temporary emotions from derailing permanent goals. Study the relationship between persistence and time. Many abandon worthy pursuits just steps from success because they lack accurate expectations about the time required for achievement. Develop realistic time frames for your goals, understanding that significant accomplishments often take longer than initially anticipated. This realistic perspective prevents the discouragement that leads to premature surrender. Winston Churchill, throughout his life, and particularly during Britain's darkest hour in World War II, Faced with seemingly insurmountable odds against Nazi Germany, he refused to consider surrender as an option. His unwavering